The 7th issue of Absolute Wonder Woman was released this week, and it picks up shortly after the events of last issue. In her first storyline, Diana, Princess of Hell, briefly escaped from the Underworld to defend Gateway City from the colossal Tetracide, a demonic creature that fed on man's minds, bodies and spirits. After defeating the beast, Diana celebrated with her newfound friends, but was dramatically dragged back to the Underworld by Hades. Diana had been imprisoned in Hell since she was a baby by the gods of Olympus. She was not permitted to leave, and this act of defiance would not go unpunished. Hades captured Diana's mother, the witch Circe, in order to force her to comply with his demands. And that's pretty much where this issue picks up, with Diana undergoing a trial by combat against the Chimera for the amusement of Hades and his wife Persephone. While this series as a whole has leaned quite heavily into Greek mythology, this issue makes the most references yet. A flashback shows how Persephone went out of her way to meet Diana in the Underworld when she was a child. If you're not familiar with her story, Persephone is the goddess of the harvest. When she was kidnapped by Hades and forced to marry him, the earth turned to an icy hellscape in her absence. So it was decreed that she would spend half of her time in Olympus, bringing sunshine and warmth to the world, and the rest of the time with her husband in the Underworld. That was achieved through the consumption of 6 pomegranate seeds, 1 for each month of the year, and that's how the seasons were born apparently. Persephone is also one of the first victims of Stockholm Syndrome, as she willingly lives with her husband. But it's clear in this issue that not everything is perfect between the couple, so keep that in mind for later on. One of Diana's powers is the ability to communicate with beasts, and she tells the Chimera that she doesn't want to harm her. However, the Chimera is less friendly, and when she refuses to relent, Diana is forced to break her neck by Hades. This scene evokes memories of the mainline universe's Diana breaking the neck of Max Lord to stop him from taking control of Superman. Diana values life, but that doesn't mean that she is unwilling to kill. She just sees it as the last resort that it should be, and that is true of any version of Wonder Woman. While the last issue focused on Diana's red lasso nemesis with flashbacks to its creation, this issue takes place mostly in the arena with only a few flashbacks. Hades was prepared for Diana to defeat the Chimera and had a devilish reward awaiting her. For her efforts, she was offered a choice of 2 doors. Behind one was freedom, behind the other oblivion, with no indication which was which, but that's not all. If she successfully picked freedom, then she would be banished from the Underworld forever and would never see her mother again. This evokes another story from Greek mythology, The Lady of the Tiger, in which a beautiful princess falls in love with a common man. Her father, the king, is outraged and casts the young man into an arena with 2 doors. Behind one door is another beautiful woman who he is allowed to marry and will doubtlessly live a happy life with. Behind the second door is a hungry tiger that will definitely tear him to shreds. The princess, meanwhile, sits on a throne looking down and has to make a decision. She knows which door is which. Should she indicate where the woman is and give the man she loves a wonderful life with someone else, or should she sacrifice him to the tiger out of jealousy? Diana is told this story by Circe as a child, and is outraged by the fact that the story doesn't tell us which option the princess chose. As Diana grows older, she comes to realise that in this allegorical story, she is not the princess, she's the person choosing between the doors. In this case, Circe is the princess. She must choose whether to give up her daughter or damn her. While the princess in the story agonised over this choice, either way she'd never get to have her man, to Circe the choice is obvious. She chooses to direct Diana to freedom, knowing that it means she'll never see her again. Fortunately, there are others that were rooting for Diana. Not only do Hecate and Themis grant her some of their power to help her intimidate Hades, but Persephone fed Diana one of her fabled pomegranate seeds. This will allow her to return to the Underworld for 1 month per year. If Hades refuses to allow this, then he will remove the power from the pomegranate seeds, causing Persephone to leave forever. So you see, while Hades presented Diana and Circe with a difficult choice, in reality he was setting himself up for a difficult choice of his own. Much like many other Greek myths, Hades created his own problem by trying to avoid it. Diana's incarceration is unjust, hence why she has the support of Persephone, Hecate and Themis. It's something that Zeus has decreed, and it's clear that not all gods agree with it. But now Diana is free, she can do as she pleases, which may very well come back to bite Zeus on the behind later on. Absolute Wonder Woman 7 is available now from all good comic shops. If you are based in the UK and don't have a comic shop near you, then you might want to use my affiliate link with the UK's biggest comic book retailer, Forbidden Planet. I have included a link in the pinned comment on this video. Alternatively, if the idea of hoarding a collection of comic books fills you with dread, I am getting perilously close to filling up our storage unit. You may want to try getting a digital copy of the issue from Amazon. I also have an affiliate link with them, which you could use to help my channel out. This is also included in the pinned comment. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to you all if you have joined me over here on this new channel. Obviously my main channel will continue with videos looking at characters seen in the DC cartoons, but I appreciate all of you coming over to this new channel to talk specifically about comic books. With that out of the way, to those that have read this issue, what do you think? Now that Diana is free from hell, where do we think her adventures will take her? It's interesting to note that the goddesses seem to be on Diana's side. How long until Zeus puts his foot down? And I don't know about the rest of you, but I hope these Little Diana shorts by Dustin Nguyen continue. Aren't they just adorable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Next time. Next Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, and DC are releasing a special free comic book that details the future of the Absolute Universe. So I'm going to try to get my hands on a copy of that. Hope to see you then.